Memphis, Tennessee, known worldwide as the home of the blues and birthplace of rock and roll, boasting legendary artists like B.B. King, Otis Redding, Isaac Hayes, and although Detroit gets the credit for her upbringing, the incomparable Aretha Franklin. Bordered by Arkansas and Mississippi, Memphis was considered the big city by small-town musicians hoping to perform in the numerous juke joints that lined historic Beale Street. At the turn of the 20th century, Beale Street served as a haven for African Americans migrating from small towns. Artists like Ike Turner, Muddy Waters, and the infamous Robert Johnson frequented Memphis in hopes of becoming a star. Robert Johnson, according to popular myth, sold his soul to the devil and seemingly overnight went from a novice guitarist to that of a legend. Although Beale Street is Memphis's #1 tourist attraction, the area of Graceland is a very close number 2. Graceland is an area of Memphis dedicated solely to the king of rock and roll himself, Mr. Elvis Aaron Presley. Tourists flock from all over the world just to get a glimpse of the last place he called home. Complete with a hotel, a private plane dedicated to his daughter, and at least a dozen gift shops make up the area known as Graceland. Like most predominantly black cities, the culture runs deep in my hometown. Groups like 3-6 Mafia, Player Fly, Gangsta Black, Skinny Pimp, and DJ Squeaky provided a musical blueprint for their young fans to start expressing themselves through the art of dance. A couple of months ago, I stumbled across a video on YouTube of Asian dancers juking as if they were born and raised here. And I gotta be honest, these dudes were good. They were so precise with their movements, you would have thought they were the creators of this style. As I read the comments under the video, it was clear to see that Memphians were already in the building. "Stop biting our shit, man," was the first comment I saw, and I gotta be honest, I laughed my ass off because I knew exactly what he meant. The guy that uploaded the video eventually replied to the comment, and I'm paraphrasing. "Man, we love Memphis. We love everything about Memphis. The music, the juking." And he went on and on about the history of Memphis rap. And as gracious as his response was, it still reeked of cultural appropriation. They took the dance and the lingo while never having to endure the dire circumstances that led to this dancing phenomenon. And to be honest, I don't blame them. Because unfortunately, Memphis is known for another unsettling statistic.
Reign of Terror started at 12:33 a.m. on September 7, 2022. That's when police say 24-year-old Dwayne Tunstall was shot and killed. Tunstall was visiting a friend's house to discuss opening a barbecue food truck. Ezekiel Kelly was also there. 16 hours later, at 4:35 p.m., police say Kelly shot and killed 62-year-old Richard Clark in his car at a gas station on South Parkway in South Memphis. 1 minute later, Kelly is accused of shooting 44-year-old Lakeisha McGlathan while her father changed a flat tire on the Norris Road exit ramp on I-240.
He was like, "Excuse me, ma'am, can you tell me how to get to Whitehaven?"
At 7:21 p.m., police say Kelly fired shots at several vehicles at Poplar and North McLean in Midtown. Randall Graham was shot in the arm as he was driving. He survived.
I thought, I can't believe I'm getting carjacked on my way to get a COVID shot. My thought was, if I get out of my car, I'm a dead man.
At 7:25 p.m., Kelly is accused of carjacking and killing Allison Parker in front of her daughter at Poplar and Evergreen and driving off in her car. Parker was a nurse from West Memphis. An hour and a half later, Ezekiel Kelly was now heading south towards South Haven. Police say he pulled into the Raceway gas station on State Line Road and pulled up next to 21-year-old Demetric Porter.
He cracked the window. He approached me by saying, like, hey, do you have perks?
Porter says he immediately recognized Kelly from his Facebook Live. Porter took off running and then called police.
I'm still kind of shaken up and shocked. I was just, like, glad that he didn't shoot.
Kelly was arrested less than 20 minutes later in Whitehaven.
On many occasions, my hometown has been ranked as one of the most dangerous cities in the country, and as much as I hate to admit it, it's a justifiable title.
There's no such thing as coming here and not having a great time. It is magnificent. I'm so glad to see all of y'all alive. Y'all got the worst news in all of America. I don't think y'all even know that. In most cities, they give you a murder minute. Every news day, they started off with the murders. 2 people were killed at a gas station on the corner of such and such, and fill in the blank. Back to you at 7. Not Memphis. Every time they come back from a commercial, they got 2 more for you. Here we are at the scene of 2 more at a gas station.
You ever heard the term laugh to keep from crying? There is a cliche term that some Memphians like to use that says, Memphis ain't that bad, you just got to stay out the way. That phrase may be true in some aspect, but still, I call cap. Because Memphis's youth are carrying guns modified to do the most damage in the least amount of time. Glock handguns, complete with extended clips and switches, have become the norm. For those not in the know, a switch is a device that can be attached to the back of a Glock handgun to convert it from semi-automatic to fully automatic. The switch alters the trigger mechanism, allowing the shooter to hold down the trigger, which makes the small firearm a literal machine gun. With that kind of rapid firepower and kickback, it's impossible to aim and hit one specific target, unless you're a professional. These inexperienced shooters are using a spray and pray technique, usually hitting everybody and everything except the intended target. So simply staying out the way doesn't always apply. Let me make this clear before going any further. Gun violence amongst our youth is not unique to only Memphis. Every major city in the country is dealing with out-of-control youth and gun violence. But for now, I just want to deal with my hometown. Although statistics may vary, the city of Memphis is roughly 64% African American. And usually cities with those kinds of numbers fall in the beauty and the beast category, a term I created just for this project. The beauty of mostly black cities usually shows up in art, dance, poetry, activism, and historic African American landmarks to take pride in. The beast, unfortunately, is the poverty that's commonly associated with black communities. The beast is the tens of thousands of undiagnosed mental illness cases. The beast is the lack of basic essential resources needed for our youth. In the fairy tale, the beast is overcome by the beauty. But in Memphis, the beast is daring the beauty to even show its face. Why are these young men so willing to throw their lives away? They seemingly have no fear of killing or being killed. No fear of spending the rest of their lives in prison. And for what? Clout? Respect? The answer has to be deeper than that.
See, right now what happens is, bro, we glorify prison, right? Mm-hmm. So you got me, Big Malik, folk on hustle, blah, 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 right? When I come out of jail, I look as intact and wholesome as I was when I went, right? So when you see me, you don't get an imagery of a person who been damaged, who been fucked over. And hey man, I'm finna go to college for a minute. That's how I feel, like you just taking a little vacation. But I'll be back out strong, healthy, handsome, all the girls gonna want me. I'm still a G. But I'm trying to tell them, it's not real. Listen, bro, it really goes down. It's terrible thing goes down in these places. But I just want the young men to know about this shit. Like, bro, it gets real. You ain't going to 201. You finna be 6 hours from home. You finna be, you know what I mean?
The night I filmed this police procession, the air in the city was thick because less than 24 hours earlier, our hometown suffered yet another mass shooting.
Right there, scary moments. 8 people shot in Orange Mound. This video shows hundreds of people running for their lives as a barrage of gunfire echoes around them. Watching a car doing donuts when gunfire breaks out. You can see people run for cover and literally dive in the dirt trying to save themselves.
A day after this tragic incident in Orange Mound, I attended the police procession in honor of one of their fallen comrades, Officer Joseph McKinney. Although Officer McKinney's death was tragic, the talk of the evening was obviously the recent shooting in Orange Mound just a day earlier. Everybody wanted answers to a question nobody seems to have answers to. Well, sort of. It's societal. Those were the words silently spoken by Memphis' top cop to not only the mayor, but other high-ranking personnel in attendance. Societal. Sounds simple enough, right? But if you peel back the layers of that word, you get something much deeper. In layman's terms, societal is used to describe issues that exist within the society of a certain people. And in this case, that group of people are the African American youth of this country. You can learn a lot about different societies of people by watching what they celebrate. If that group honors family, education, and respect of their heritage, in due time, that entire group will collectively progress. However, if there's a society of people that shuns family, disregards education, and still demands the utmost respect, you end up with the problems we now face in society today. A verse from one of my favorite books precisely describes the times we're living in. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, those that put darkness for light and light for darkness. So what are we to do? It's easy to say lock them up and throw away the key, until it's our favorite little cousin being charged just for being in the car with a foolish childhood friend. There's hundreds of factors that led us to this point. Some of them are faults of our own, while others were created by this very society to tip the scales in their favor, but to our detriment. So the assessment of Memphis by its most decorated officer has proven to be valid. Our problems are societal, but in more ways than she was referring to, respectfully. Like, comment, share, and subscribe at the bell if you enjoyed this content. Rest in peace, Papa.